All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hidden Gem
Yeah,
with Jax
most
and your
definitely.
boy.
Jay
You really,
Smizzle.
you really pronunciate my name. I ain't gonna give it to him yet. Maybe another episode. Maybe another episode.
It's Jay Smizzle. I just gave it to him. Jay
Jay
Smizzle.
Smizzle. Jay Smizzle. Right. So
Oh yeah, you talking about the other one. Yeah, don't do that yet. Not yet.
yeah, I ain't gonna do that. Yet. I ain't gonna do that yet. So what we talking about right now is, can anger be used to get the best out of you, or can anger be used in a cynical way where you can gain wisdom? So, Jax, you want to continue to talk about that?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I was hoping you let me go first. Yes, I feel like, and this is coming from just to put background information on there. This comes from someone who used to suppress the anger and not put that out there into the world onto people because I was like, don't do that. That's not how we should be. But learning as I continue to grow, as you like tap into the anchor, for me, it's a fuel. Like everything you do, just not saying you letting that anger control you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you use that and you tap into that anger. You angry when you working out. It give you a little boost. You angry when you in a say you in a social event for your business or anything, a conference, and you gotta make your presence be felt in this arena. You angry, not mad. You angry using it as fuel because you putting yourself on the table. All right, like look, like I'm here. This is me. I'm here, and you tapping into that anger. But it's just for me the way I see it, and as a man, as a young man growing up in this world, somebody who never, not never, but always had it conscious in my mind to repress that anger feeling. Now I'm like, no, let that out. Use that. Don't let it use you. You control it. And once you control it, you can go so much further than what you did because you tapping into
Well, do
that
you
energy.
do you feel like anger is an ego thing?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. And I feel like you have to have that. I feel like you gotta have a little ego, you gotta have a little pride. Cause if you don't, you can get walked over. You can get stepped on. You gotta tap into that fuel a little bit. You gotta have a little pride. You gotta have a little ego. You gotta remember you are, and
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 that
that's where I feel.
that's why I think it's a part of just learning how to control it. Because once you learn how to control it, you're a master at your craft. So
Right.
if you extremely angry and you just running, you'll run face fall. You know, if you like you said, you gotta have a little bit of ego, a little bit of pride, a little bit of integrity and respect. Those are two words I like when you're doing something that you love or something you want. Integrity
Mm,
and respect for what you're doing, because if you decelerate too much, you might not get to your destination. But
right.
when you present and focus on what you need, and you use that energy and that emotion to get what you want out of life, then you at a balance. Because it's the
Mm,
same when you talk about a car. If you're looking
right.
back, you may see what's in front of you. If you're going too fast, you could crash. But you got to be focused. You got to be able to see the rear view mirrors. You got to be able to see the back mirror. You got to be able to see what's in front of you. You got to be a master at your craft. And that's why I think, just staying using it, because throughout my life, I had a lot of anger, and it just led me in a lot of bad situations, and that's what we could talk about in a sense of the Will Smith situation with smacking Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars. Do you think that was a situation where it was more ego filled, fear filled, or anger filled? Because when you have a lot of anger, it leads you to get that emotion, to get riled up, to do something that's out of body at times.
Hmm. See, I was talking to my brother about it, and I really see this thing with the Will Smith thing. I really just for one, for one, let me say this. For one, I feel like a lot of people have a opinion on the specific situation when we're missing a lot of details. I'll put that out there for one. Missing a lot of details on a specific situation. However, just looking at it from what we saw in the clip, I would say, now I'm not married, but I would say after like talking to married people about it and what they feel, the general senses that I get is that as a husband, you like you've never been okay, or you never will be okay with somebody making a joke about your wife in front of you. Now I get it, it's Chris Rock, it's the Oscars, these are entertainers, and I understand that. But with that being said, that's still his wife. And what's the quickest way to get somebody upset or get somebody to act a little bit out of character, no matter who it is? You talk about their wife, their family, their kids. And for me, that's what I saw. Now I get everybody they take the images, they talking about, oh, he was laughing before, he was doing this, that. I'm like, I get that. I hear you. But the point that I still stand on is that I don't know what husband would sit there and just not allow, but be okay with somebody making a joke about his wife. Now, if it's a joke about, like, some of the red table talk, stuff they were talking about, stuff that they put out there, they you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's on them. That's on them.
He can't get mad because y'all put that out into the world. But the alopecia, I'm really hoping I'm pronouncing that right. The alopecia,
you pronounce
I feel like maybe that one was something that he was like, that's where my line is. Like, no. So for me, that's how I take it. Like, as a husband, once again, I am not married, but as a husband, speaking to husbands and how they felt, they said their senses was that I've never just sat there and let somebody talk about my wife, not in front of me. And just as a non-married man, single man, the way I see it is that, flip it then. All right, cool. I'm not married, so let me put my mama right there. I'm hot. I'm still heated. I don't care what we talk about. Keep my mama name out your mouth. Period. I don't care what we talking about.
Like I feel like when you go to the Oscars, it's the Oscars. Now,
Hollywood.
It's Hollywood. With that being said, I think this was an anger-filled situation because of the past statements and jokes that Chris Rock made about Will and Jada. At the last Oscars, they boycotted. So I feel like it was anger-filled, especially with all of the things surrounding their relationship, which I don't feel comfortable with talking about because that's their business. But like you said, Red Table Talk, they put that out there in the world. I think when it comes to this situation, I think we need to be very precautious about how women are being perceived that cut their hair that's black. People don't understand the psyche that comes with this whole media crusade. Even though it's alopecia, the media crusade of people doing jokes, even just the symbolism behind Will Smith getting up on stage and smacking Chris Rock to defend his wife. In Africa, which we all seen the Black Panther, which we all can think about African women, in Africa is actually marveled for women to cut their hair in different fashions. That's a low cut. You got the fro, you got waves, you got so many different aspects. And we have queens through African history that have had waves in the low cut. And I don't think we understand the psyche that we building for the generation that's young, that's seeing this, because they could be seeing this from a perspective of, oh, it's bad to have a low cut hair, and not even be in a state in life where they can understand what alopecia is.
Right.
And
Okay.
we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where it's like for Black women, oh, you got the Jada Smith cut, which is okay to have and is look beautiful. A lot of Black women that's models in Paris, in a lot of different places, have low cuts or bald heads. But it's just a societal factor, which I think is important to understand. On the aspect of Will Smith jumping out of his body in a sense of anger, I understand that. But for me, I also understand situations like that leads to the worst.
Hmm.
I have seen so many, and we could think about situations this year where this past year where Black men voted out of anger, swung on somebody or slapped someone and ended up dead or in jail.
Yeah. True. And
And
go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I marvel at the fact that Chris Rock did not swing back, because I think we have to teach a lot of people in situations like that that you have to remain mature, you know. In a sense of that, Will Smith did think he was Tupac for a second. But
Did he though? I can't believe you just did that to my dog. But you just did that to my
he
dog.
thought he was
But
Tupac. Nah, I'm joking, Will. Don't come smack me. I'm joking. I'm joking.
oh wow,
Too much, it was
it's
too
like
much,
that.
it was too much satire in that moment. But I honestly speaking, I do think we need to teach more young adults that in situations like that, if you've been harmed, you can't result in anger. You can, fight back, but it's better ways to react upon that, because when you react upon it in a good way, like Chris Rock could use this situation a lot of different ways. He has a lot of different options. But when you ball your fists up and you react in a different way, it could lead to worse things. That's why I'm more upset with Will Smith, because he could have protected his wife in a lot of different ways. But that was one of the ways that he thought in that moment he could have. I'm not condoning or saying I disagree with it, what he did. I'm just saying for Black people, too many times we react in that way, and it leads us in a lot of misfortunate situations. Because now they're talking about, one, taking away the Oscar, two, not suspending him from ever getting an award, which they already boycotted, so I don't think they will even care. And I just think it's just not a good moment, and it took away the light from King Richard, the Venus and
Right.
Serena Williams,
King Richards, Sam Jackson, all that.
everybody else, which it
Out,
was a
out.
big moment for minorities, and we didn't get the moment because Will Smith got on stage and slapped somebody. So I just, that's what people didn't see. Oh, Black people did something marvelous. They did something great that never been done. But you know what we saw? Oh, you invite Black people to stuff. They fighting, they slapping each other. And the Oscars next year, their ratings gonna be out the roof. Out the roof.
Oh yeah, they love that.
Black people
When
watching
I
now.
tell you, hold on. When I tell you, I didn't know the Oscars was even going on. I didn't even know.
I didn't either. I'm not even gonna lie to
I
you.
don't watch the Oscars. But I got two things to ask you for that, because like you said some things, and I really would love to just to hear your what you think. So for one, you talked about how well for one, let me put this out. Nipsey Hussle said, and shout out Nipsey Hussle. This is the third anniversary of his passing. So we put that out there. Shout out Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, and shout out to his family. But he said, I forgot what song, and I'm paraphrasing, so don't quote me. Or no, it wasn't a song. I believe it was an interview or a song. He said that we as Black people, or as a culture, he's more specifically not Black people, but culture, need to work on our reaction when we're disrespected. how we react when we disrespected. And when I kept thinking about that in my head, like how do we react when we're disrespected? Because in life is gonna kick us when we down, so we're gonna get disrespected. It's not a if, it's a when. So the only thing we control is how we react to that same disrespect. And that's why I'm gonna be a little bit contradicting, because I hear you. You're right. We need to, as a culture, even as not, even I don't even take it as a black thing. I took it as just a people. Everybody needs to work on our reaction to disrespect, because once we get disrespected, people think it's just all free game. They can do whatever they want to do, and then we lead into other things, other violence, and it goes down that road. So yes, I hope I put that out there. But now for my questions: How comfortable, like, how comfortable are we gonna just allow people to just say anything? Like, I get you. Will could have handled that situation in a different sort of way. Matter of fact, let me take Will and Chris Rock out. I'm not even talking about Will Smith. I'm talking about just people in general. Like, why are people so comfortable and feel they could just say anything to people without getting any consequence in return? That's my thing.
I have
Like,
a question for you. Why is it okay for people to allow people to do anything to them, like slapping them?
you said something I didn't like, you got slapped. Don't
And
say
that's
stuff
how.
to people that you don't think they.
So if somebody slapped the average person, what is the average person gonna do?
It could have went south quickly.
That's all,
South.
and that's the problem with black people, and not only
And
black
you
people,
saying you think
the
it's a
world.
black thing?
I think it is because all we have, especially growing up in the hood, is when you grow up in the hood, it's really if somebody disrespect you and you don't retaliate, then you basically a
Fill in the blank, for sure.
dude. So a lot of people do a lot of things to respect that manhood, especially when that's all you have, when you don't have resources, when you don't have money, when you don't have the opportunity to not react on something, but then find another avenue in life. But this is the only avenue that you have. And I feel like that's a defense mechanism for us to always react in an angry way, but it can harm us in a lot of way, in a detrimental way that leaves us, unfortunately, in jail with a crime, death, or in a bad situation. And a lot of times, that's why I marvel at the critics. A lot of times we just look at the Will Smith part, but what if Chris Rock would have reacted back? Who knows what have happened on that stage? Who knows
It,
what
it would have been bad for both.
it
Would
would
have
have
been
been bad
terrible.
for the entire Oscars. It would have been terrible. Could have been career ending. It could have been worse. Somebody could have got hurt. But what Chris Rock did was use that situation in a positive light. Now, I'm not saying that you don't supposed to protect your wife. I'm just saying for black people, that's not a good example. Now, I get what you're saying. You should protect your wife. You should do what's appropriate. But just like our grandmas and our mothers used to say, it's always a place and a time. Because you got to look yourself in the mirror, even if we going off the respect thing. Why? Oh,
2 cups.
even if it is my fault, even if it is a respect thing, why would somebody disrespect you to begin with? Because just like in the hood, if somebody disrespecting you, 9 times out of 10, you was disrespected a lot of times before that.
Hmm.
If we going off the hood factor,
Okay.
because people feel comfortable with disrespecting certain people, but I just feel like it's a level of understanding and an example that you need to lead for, because you need to lead for especially people of color, because we can't take We don't have those chances to go up on stage and smack people. Everybody not Will Smith. Everybody not gonna get away with that.
No, no, and that's why I like. That's why like I hear you with like, because we always want to relate it back to like the people we directly influence and the people that we directly around us and that we love. But that's why I keep taking the black thing out of it, because I'm like, or the black aspect. I'm like, man, Will Smith, Chris Rock, they're Will Smith and Chris Rock now. You're not saying you're not black, but your name is tied to so
Yeah,
many
they at
different
the
things. Like
pinnacle.
this is
They at
who
the
you
pinnacle.
are now. You're a brand now. And just to touch on something that you said, like you said, so normally when you in the hood and you get disrespected once, you've been disrespected before. So just my last thing with that, what happened was an example. Like, okay, all that red table talk, blah 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 stuff that we put out there, y'all got games, y'all got jokes, okay, cool. But anything personal and in front of me, off the line. You cross the line. And now everybody knows now that's the line. And now the boundaries are set. Now we can be cool. But now I got to use that anger, like we was talking about earlier, to make sure that everybody knows that my presence is felt here and there's a line here. And when you cross that line, there's consequences.
But you building a situation where it's like Will Smith. If you going off the disrespecting, which I understand. But what you building is you open up a gateway, because guess what happened when you smack somebody like Pookie off New Jack. It's Pookie off New Jack City. You smack Pookie. So guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna be some people that's really tough out here that's gonna continue to try you
Yep.
and continue to put your wife name in their mouth because they want to see if you're really about that. Because you smack Pookie. It's like the bully in the schoolyard. You constantly bullying on the least aggressive, harmless person. So you the bully. Guess what everybody else gonna try to do? Beat up the bully. Or they're gonna try to test you out to see if you really like that. And that's what constantly leads. It constantly leads in bad situations. Because now, guess what everybody's saying on social media? Oh, if it was me, I'm gonna mention.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna mention
God.
Jaden
You hear
name.
that?
I'm gonna mention
You hear
Jaden
that
name.
everywhere.
Let him say something.
Everywhere.
I want him to smack me. It wouldn't been
You
that
hear
if it
that?
was me.
Right.
When that
But those are the if I coulda, woulda, shouldas.
no,
They
I'm
say
telling
that
you,
for
if
everything.
they in more situations like that, if it's really people that's about that, they gonna mention her name. And you got to think, if you mention her name, you know how many views you're gonna get if you the first person that mention her name. If you the first, if they go to another award show, another dinner, people got their phones out, people recording. Guess what's gonna happen?
It's a gimmick now. Right.
It's a
Like it's a
gimmick.
joke.
It's a joke. So now it's gonna be like, well, Jada, Will don't come up and hurt me, but I really like your hair. He gonna beat up everybody in the world that mentioned his wife's name.
No, but at least everybody know that there's lines now. Cause
Line.
this is why I ask you now. This is why I ask you. Cause I want to relate it to something that we could relate to. Say you got kids in school, high school, middle school, whatever, because it go down at all ages. Kid get bullied on. He doesn't really say much, doesn't blah blah blah, so he keep getting picked on. He retaliates. Now he retaliates on the bully. What are you saying to that young man, young lady, whatever, for retaliating to a bully? What are you saying to that person? Are you telling that person like, hey, you shouldn't do that? You shouldn't and when I say retaliate, I mean physically put their hands on that person. Are you gonna tell that young man, that young lady, like, hey, you shouldn't do this? I don't care if you're getting bullied, you can't put your hands on everybody. Or are you telling that young man or young lady, like, you have to stand up for yourself? And sometimes you will be the only one in your corner. And everybody has a breaking point. You can't just sit there and take the disrespect. Sometimes you gotta stand up for yourself. Yes, violence is not the answer. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. And there's different ways we can get all politically correct with it. But at the end of the day, you gotta stand on your own 10 toes. So where are you taking that if you're talking to the youth, and if it's a situation where a youth retaliate to a bully physically.
It's not about necessarily just protecting yourself. And I think that's where we mess up a lot as people when we facing bullies. It's about how you respond to it. So again, how you respond to it, because propaganda is so powerful. So for example, in most movies with bullies, what happens? Kid getting bullied. The bully typically have 3 or 4 people with him. So one kid getting jumped on, one kid getting bullied by a bunch of people. And then once the kids start to retaliate, what the kid do? Oh, I gotta protect myself. I gotta set the precedent. And guess who ends up in the office 10 out of 10 times? Not the bully,
The
not the
person,
people that the
yeah, that's
person
tough.
that's retaliating. And the person that retaliates typically gets in the most trouble and
Definitely.
typically cause and makes the situation worse. So it's
Hmm.
not about just protecting yourself, it's about how you respond to it. And nowadays, some kids think, oh, when you're facing a bully, you got to tell the teacher. That makes the bullier even more angry and bully you even more because it gets who in trouble? The bully. But it's about how you respond to it. You have to face the bully in a more humility standpoint, where you have to show the bully that you are not allowing this, not with your fist, not with telling the teacher, but in a more respectable way. That's why respect is so powerful, because if I can respect you and you respect me, we have an understanding. If I retaliate in disrespect, that's going to make the person want to retaliate in disrespect. That's what leads to death and things like that situation. So
That's
it's more
that's
about
so
gaining respect. You could gain respect in a bad way, and that can lead to more disrespect. You have to gain respect in a way where you set the precedent where this is not allowed, not in a physical altercation, not in other ways, because that doesn't work for everybody. Because you'll end up in the principal office or in the grave or in other situations. So you really have to, it's about how you respond to it. You have to have emotional intelligence. And that's what people miss. And each situation and circumstance is different, but it's more about how you respond to it. It's really important when you, especially when you're dealing with a bully, you don't try to deal with it on your own. You ask people about it. You talk to people who dealt with that situation before, so you can know how to handle it. Just because you tell the
right.
teacher, don't mean the teacher gonna stop the bully from bullying you.
Hmm.
And just because you retaliate with your hands or in a violent way doesn't
Don't
mean
mean it's done.
you're gonna give it the respect and that situation is gonna be done.
Right.
Because
This ain't
sometimes in life, what you're going through, some people, the class could talk to you about being buck teeth, and you gotta have braces all the way through elementary school to high school. And guess what?
you, you
You could
talk.
be,
You preach to the choir.
hey, and I got a gap. So that's what I'm saying, and you probably have to face that challenge. You got to learn that in life, sometimes people going to talk about you regardless.
True. And
Can't
and and,
control
and that's I feel like that's a good point where we can kind of end it right there, because people gonna talk about you regardless. And like we said earlier, like you're gonna get disrespected all not all the time, but not a if, it's a when. And the
and
only
that's
thing
why
we
I
could
feel
we
like
can
black
control is our reaction.
especially for
Huh?
people who grow up in these ghettos, these jungles, we feel like somebody say something to me, oh, it's go time. You're not disrespecting me. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Everybody not like that. Everybody not a fighter. Everybody not, you can't tell everybody to do that. And it's not good. Because even the people that's fighters, it ends up in a bad situation. And it's just not good.
True.
I feel like you gotta gain respect, and respect is gained in a lot of different facets.
See, man, I hear that, and I really do. For me, I'm just struggling with the whole. I'm guessing it's self control and like control your emotions, because the way I see it is, it's like I can't even blame somebody for retaliating to a bully. I can't even sit there and be like, oh, you're wrong. You're wrong for that. I can't even honestly tell you that. But I would if I was explaining this to a high school, middle school, or a youth, somebody in the youth, I would say like, yeah, like know what come with that, because whatever choice you make is something gonna come with that. So you have to understand that. You have to accept what comes with that, the consequences, and all the drama that it could be attached to that. In that
What's
same
the
breath,
what's the objective to stop a bully or bully you?
what's the objective to stopping a bully from? What do you mean? What's the objective? What do you mean?
The objective to stop a bully is to stop bullying you.
Right,
Just
right.
because you fight or bully back doesn't mean you're gonna stop them from bullying you.
If you hit them hard, I mean,
That's not gonna stop them.
uh,
It's
true.
not. It's how you respond to it. The teacher not
That's
gonna
that's
be
so
around all
tough.
the students. The teacher's not gonna be around the students all the time. The teachers might have moments throughout the class where people could say stuff, and the bully could say something that the teacher might not know in communication, but it might be something that all the kids said on Instagram or Snapchat towards him. He might be like, "Buck teeth" is the answer, and the teacher
Right.
might be like, "Oh, that's a good word," but everybody know that the student is talking
What's
about
going
you.
on? Right. Right. And in
That's
that
that's
case,
what I'm
yeah,
saying. So it's
there's
about how
different
you
ways to
respond to it.
like retaliate and respond. I get that.
It's
There are
about how you
definitely
respond,
ways.
because it's always gonna be those moments. So, for example, I love this story. It might be a little bit too hoodish,
Too hoodish.
too hoodish, because I don't
I ain't
want to
heard
get
hoodie.
exact words on how to respond to bullying because but I can give a
You
story.
see how the conversation don't move? Like it was anger and controlling your emotions. It's the same thing though. Andrew control your emotions, then went to Will, and like the we felt like, was it anger? Was he needing to control his emotions? Then it went to bullying and like responding to reactions. So just so it's the same thing. Keep continuing on. It's the same thing. But I want to hear the story. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah,
that
do, do.
everybody saw that thing. That I want to hear your story though. What's up? I don't care if it's too hoodish.
In elementary school, it was this guy, right? Cool, cool dude.
Mm.
Always had on the freshest kicks. Knew how to
Mm.
talk to all the girls. Just cool.
Hey, hey.
Hey. So during lunchtime, that's when all the
Mm.
entire school would come together to walk down the stairs.
Right.
And walking down the stairs, everybody would be there. The cool dudes in sixth grade and eighth grade was the pinnacle because it was an elementary school. And now even all the way down to first grade, everybody be walking down these stairs. And the cool dude, he slipped and fell down the stairs. Poop, 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 poop. Everybody was looking. They, oh,
Mm.
ha, ha, ha. Everybody laughing at him. People was hating on, laughing at him, people bullying him. And then it was a sigh. Everybody just took a deep breath to see if the cool dude was okay because he fell down the stairs. And he got up. He looked at everybody, dust off. He said, I'm still cool, and walked off.
I've heard that story before. That's a player move. That's a ice cold player right there. And I see that. Yeah,
He said, I'm
play better.
still Cool. And the thing is, it's not about what you do, it's how you respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he could have got up. You could tell a person, just keep getting up.
Nah, yeah, he
If
could have
they
got up
getting
on
up
hot.
crying, if they getting up crying after they fell down the stairs, or if they getting up
Oh, it's
crying
all
after
bad.
getting punched. But if they get up with confidence, and if they get up and they stand up to the fact that whatever happened, happened, nobody mess with them no more. It's not about what you do, it's about how you respond to it.
Work on our reaction to getting disrespected.
Work on your reaction. Now, in some cases, retaliation is not the answer. In some cases, you have to defend yourself. If it's 5 people jumping on you. In some cases, it's how you respond, gain that knowledge to it. How do you react to it? That's why I feel like that reaction to Will Smith, he could have done better. At that level, when you're a brand, it's a billion different ways to get back at somebody to gain respect.
True.
I feel
Very
when
true.
you don't have money and things of that nature, that's all you got is your hand, your fist. But
survival mode.
Survival mode.
Wow. Okay. I'm listening. I'm gonna just take it in and leave that to something that I'm gonna need to think on.
And
Really
I'm not
analyze.
saying that's the best thing to do in all situations. Like, I agree with you.
No.
I'm just saying this.
No. I'm hearing like that. It's a different perspective, one that I considered at first but threw away, and now just hearing that you're explaining it, I'm like, maybe I should do a little more consideration with it. And I won't tell you that I agree right now. I'm gonna keep that 100% with you, but I will tell you that I definitely put it in my mind. Like, okay, take some time to think about it and really see what you can do.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I worked in a lot of different places. People have disrespected me at the all-time highest.
Every place, I swear.
But you know what? It's how I respond to it.
Yep. It's always. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna take that. I can take that, and I can sit down and do some thinking on that.
And I've witnessed people disrespect you, but how you handle it,
Really? Disrespect me? And would you say I handled it well?
You handled it well,
bro. See, we gotta talk about that one. We gotta go back. We gotta reminisce. We gotta see. Cause I gotta see. I gotta know, did I handle it well, or no? Cause that was young fella back then. A little older now. More mature.
I handled it well.
Okay. Wow. All right, bro.
But all right, y'all. This is a good episode of Hidden Gem.
Okay. Man, hold on real quick. I had something to add for that. Just real quick. Something to add. And it is not about the Will Smith situation. Before we let everybody go. Real quick, bro. I know there's one in the plan or the script or itinerary, but I'm just gonna do it and ask for forgiveness later. So I was watching a podcast called Earn Your Leisure. It's a very good podcast. I just got hip to it. I didn't even know it existed, but I should have. They had a guy on there. Man, I do not know his name, but his Instagram name is Sleepers for Suckers. And mind you, I don't have all the details about him, but pretty much he's a multimillionaire, and he's a multimillionaire entrepreneur. Started working at Cheesecake Factory. He was selling t-shirts on the side and built his way up to where he can leave his job and be a full-time entrepreneur and be successful at it. And he took them apart on like a not a journey, but a step-by-step action plan for how others can do the same thing. And then what he was saying was stuff that I'd never really even considered or even thought of. Like, you know how everybody always saying like, oh, be an entrepreneur. You can do this, you can do that, and it sounds so good. But that's just the icing. You're not telling me how to actually bake the cake. Step by step, I'm not going step by step, but points that I remember that definitely hit me, and I felt that I need to share with you about them. So shout out to Earning Leisure and Sleeves for Suckers.
Shout out.
Apologies on I don't know your name right now. Apologies on me, but you'll be okay because you got 64,000 followers on Instagram. Anyway, you already balling. All right, but so you know how everybody has a financial goal. Like, oh, if no, excuse me, time wise. First things first, time wise. The way he responded was like everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, and everybody always says, or people like to normally say, if I didn't have this job for those 8 hours, I can do X, Y, and Z. He's like, scrap that. Stop thinking like that. For one, we need that job because that's where you're paying the bills right now. So instead of thinking like, hey, if I didn't have this job, I'll be doing this. No. Find some time during your day to actively build to that dream, to that goal, better yet, to that action plan, where it's an hour here, 2 hours here. Find that in day to day. Make sure you do that every day. You put in that hour every day to your business, your action, your your heart's burning desire. You look up in the week, you don't put 7 hours in. And who knows how many hours you put in the weekend. So put that time in. You can find the time. You can find the time. Mind you, it sounds like I'm talking to you, but I'm really talking to myself. You can find the time. Second thing that I noticed that he pointed out, when you're thinking financial goals, especially for me, I promise you. Okay, background information. I'm a home inspector. I started last year studying for home inspections, and 3 months ago, I'm official with the state, and I'm this is my first year of business, so I'm 3 months in. So my goal financially was like, okay, I want 6 figures in a year. That was my goal. And I was tweeting it all the time. I was 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. And hearing his explanation on why that thought process isn't the best made me reconsider how I'm looking at my financial goal. His mind was like, okay, we need to slow it down. We need to bring it down and bring it to something we can actively hit. For one, if you say if you working whatever, can you make an extra $500 a week? Can we commit to that? Can, like, whatever your business is that you're doing on the side with your work, can we make $500 a week first? Cool, we make $500 a week. Bet. Can we make 1,000? Can we make 1,000 a week consistently? Can we make 2,000 a week consistently? And now when we're doing that, now like, oh snap, I'm getting 2,000. Like, oh man, I'm making 2,000 a week. I'm making more than what I'm getting every 2 weeks from 9 to 5. Don't mean scrap everything yet. Make sure can we survive and live off this first? So bet. So now you're making your $500 a week. So like, okay, you commit to that. You make your 1,000, like 2,000. You commit to that. So now you have a not a reasonable goal, but I'm saying like a active goal that you can hit instead of saying I want 6 figures, I want $100,000. No, switch it to like, okay, can I match or beat uh what the my 9 to 5s give me in 2 weeks in a week, or can I match it in 2 weeks? Can we do it in a month? Can we like really sit down and get those numbers specific on what makes you feel like, oh, now I'm stable, oh now I'm really progressing, like we're getting there now. What does those numbers look like for you? And when you think about the numbers, another point with that is that man, don't lose your train of thought. I just had it. Give me a second. When you have your numbers, man. Oh, when you're having your financial goals and you have the numbers you want to hit, another point that they pointed out, or he specifically pointed out, was that make it about the work and not the money. Because when you do the work, the money will come. Because we can only control the work. We can't control if people buy the product or they buy your service or whatever, or people donate to whatever you're doing. You can't control that, but you can control the work. Like for me, I can do this for me. Um, so me saying I want $100,000. Okay, how are you gonna get $100,000? Okay, cool. We need to average at least an inspection a day. Okay, cool. How can I get an inspection a day? So I need to be marketing to realtors, marketing to investors. I need to be posting on my social medias. I need to be prospecting marketing. I need to be putting myself out there, and also specifically reaching out to people who could bring me home inspections or leads. Now, what can I control? I can't control if they text me back, call me back, or write me back, or send me any inspections. I can't control that. What I can control is how many times am I contacting them? How many times am I prospecting? How many hours am I in each week, each day am I putting towards, okay, I'm gonna reach out to X amount of realtors, X amount of investors, X amount of home buyers, homeowners. How I can control that. And once you control that, okay, I can do 10. I can reach out to 10 realtors in a day. Cool, reach out. If you reach out to 10 a day, then you look at the end of the week. Now you reached out to 7.
You muted. You muted. You muted. You muted. You muted. You still muted. You still muted. Try now. Try now. Can't hear you.
Hello. Yeah. Okay, we back now. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Goodness gracious, I am back on now.
I can hear you, bro.
Hello.
Yo, yo.
Yo yo.
I can hear you.
Ah. Okay. So yes, the point that I was making was that I can control the work. I can't control who responds to me, but once you control the work and you put your head down, just like with anything, You put that out there, it's gonna come back to you. So that's my little TED talk for today. Because I had to talk about some business because I felt that the message from that Earn Your Leisure podcast really resonated with me, and I had to share that with you and the people who are watching. So that's my message for sure. Control what you control. Let's put the work in. And mind you, I'm talking to myself. Yo, self, put the work in. Let's go.
I'm with you, bro. I needed that. And what's the hidden gem out of all of that?
Man, the hidden gem out of the business part or the what we're talking about?
Everything.
Everything. Ooh, okay. He over me on the spizot. Okay. The hidden gem for all that control. You can only control yourself. Ha! Definitely, y'all. You can only control yourself. Whether that's your anger,
I like
situations where you're being disrespected, your business, your life goals, your physical presence, your financial goals. You can only control what you can control. And you can't focus and put emphasis on your mind on the stuff that you cannot. Focus on what you can do and what you control, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you progress and get to where you want to go. Control what you can control. You can only control yourself. It's the hidden gem I came up with today. Control what you can control, which is only yourself.
I'm with that, brother. Needed that one.
I feel like we could pass the collection plate.
Well,
No,
Mike say again off the lottery ticket. He said, we're going to pass the plate around one more time.
we're going to pass the plate around.
He said,
say it again. Say it again.
I have right now. This is a house God want me to have.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, man.
30.
Cool.
Man. 30. He said, okay, look, see, now we fooling. Look.
45, 47. Nah. No, seriously, though. Nah, I'm with you, bro. I feel like that's definitely the hidden gem. Like, control what you can control. And what you control determines the outcome. Sometimes the outcome might not be what you want, but you still get an outcome after it.
Mm-hmm.
No. Sometimes, we just need to focus on what we can control and allow God to do the rest of the work.
Amen. Amen. Oof. I think that's right. That's a good point. We could wrap that up right there. Like I can't even give you nothing better to say right there.
I'm with you, brother.
Said put God in there. I was like, yeah, that made everything calm back down. Cause like as much as the best thing for me is like that I've been learning is find a way to put God in every situation. Every situation. Once you do that and read your Bible, you get a little clarity.
Big factuals.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in, listening to Hidden Gems. I want to thank you, Jay Smizzle, for your time. I enjoyed this conversation. I promise you, every time we have these conversations, I feel like I'll grow and become better a little, even the smallest amount, which is good for me. Good for me.
Same.
But we'll be back. We back and we have more to talk about. Definitely.
We outside. We definitely outside.
We outside this summer. Man, outside podcast. See, look, I gotta come to the city. We gotta meet up.
Hey, make it happen.
Say
we
less.
outside.
Say less.
I gotta come up there.
Nah. Let me meet you there.
I'm coming up there. We outside.
We outside. Hey, we outside there. I'm with it. All right,
y'all. Much love.
Much love. Everybody stay blessed.